Hello, I'm Enzo, and today I'll be playing TerraTech. And in this episode of TerraTech Builds, I'll be going over this cruiser carrier. How this came to be is kind of difficult to say. I was thinking of doing a cool battleship aircraft carrier combination to kind of make up for the injustice that was my first aviation carrier. I wanted to use battleship guns, but this is TerraTech. I have a very limited build space. I was considering finding a mod to deal with that, but I decided to work with my limits, and this is what I came up with. Cruiser guns. Yeah, it looks a little bit ridiculous, but I like how cool it is. Now, this is kind of like I said, a cruiser mixed in with a carrier. So you have your flight deck up here, your cruiser guns here, and a crap ton of anti-air and missile protection. Oh yeah, and it hovers too. Hovering aircraft carrier again. This one, though, is, well, weird, let's just say. I put actual anchors on this time. Don't know why, that's just how I designed it. I prefer actual anchors more than sky anchors now. But this. Now, before there was an issue where the ship would tilt to one side, but I've somehow fixed that, I guess. Yeah, it works. So, to set this up, it's pretty much standard. This time you can anchor straight to the ground, easily remove that block. However, you gotta take that second block out. I'll probably change that, if I ever decide to upgrade the design. Besides that, this is one of the easiest designs to set up. You just have to place 4 poles and that's it. It'll usually drop in position. When it doesn't, it's really derpy. But yeah. So that's that. This elevator, you may notice, is interesting. It's 2-decked, dual decked. Don't know how else to say it. It has 2 decks. And there's a very specific reason for this. When I was building this carrier initially, I was trying to figure out what's the best way to both have more elevator capacity but not lose elevator usage. So normally when you build an elevator, and all of my old designs, there'd just be a giant gap right here where you could store nothing, meaning your hangar capacity is literally just this. This new design, however, allows you to land an aircraft on the top while still being able to store one in here. Now, is that insanely useful? Not really, because you can't go ahead and store more than what can fit in this elevator in here. But still, it's a revolutionary design for me that I may be using in future carriers. So there's that. Our armament consists of 3 of these awesome Perseus cruiser guns. I hope that's how you say it. And approximately 8 of these anti-air guns. These are the awesome Quad Aegiuses. I love these things. And I don't know if they got buffed, if the mod got changed or what, but I was testing this and these things feel really overpowered. Like I could not outrun these for some reason. We also have 8 of these Hawkeye CIWSs. These defend the ship from missiles. They're not great at their job, but they look cool, and that's all that really matters. Kind of looks good, right? Maybe? I don't know, I just tried to make it look as much as a ship as I could. I don't know, the design of this was very rocky. Pretty much I need to fit an entire flight deck and hangar, but also have a ship, or something that resembles a ship. And this is kind of what I came up with. Not the best looking thing in the world, but it works. And this is a new design. I'm trying different buttons here. This one allows you to turn on and off the repair and shield bubbles. So in case you're just docked somewhere and you don't want to use power permanently, you can turn those on or off. It also just looks better, because trust me, it looks really bad. These can turn on and off the anti-gravity when you need it and when you don't. The one in the middle controls hover power. I keep it really low because the higher your hover power, the higher you hover, and oddly enough, the less speed you get. I don't know how it works exactly. It's probably something to the fact that the hover pads do actually move. I'm not so sure. But yeah, that's the total design of the ship. I'll be going over the interior design in a little bit, but for now let's take it for a test drive. And yeah, I kind of forgot about the elevator. So what I normally do is just put the elevator to go down. This elevator's a little bouncy and likes to fly up every so often, but it should be fine. For this ship, I don't remember what the max speed I can get is. It's maybe around 60 if you're lucky, if you're not carrying anything. Dang, not even 60 anymore. 58. I mean, that's not terrible, but still, Purifier could easily hunt this aircraft carrier, which is a bit of an issue. Still though, turning isn't bad because I put all the turning engines in the front here. All the forward thrusters in the back here. That's what allows the ship to work and, well, fly and move so well. Okay, let's say you want to land some aircraft. You gotta slow down first. I believe... Yay, the ship does kind of stabilize itself. Awesome! Now, to do this, you have to have the elevator in the down position. Then let's get a Striker. This is one of the Striker 1 Mark II A mods that I used in my last, the Siren aircraft carrier. And there's not much to say about this one because it's the exact same aircraft, one of my favorites. Now, landing on this small of a flight deck is a challenge. Thankfully, I've gotten slightly better at this. Okay. That was a terrible attempt. Anyways, there's something you should know. You can't actually both... Okay, it's hard to explain. You can't have an aircraft on this because you have to open it up first. This elevator is 13 by 13, which means you really have to... I'd put the Striker in sideways to make it fit. And in here, I don't even think there's room for more than one, honestly. Maybe you could somehow get two in here? Let's try it. Up to the very limits. I also didn't really go over what's in here. I just put 5 of these Geocorp chargers on each side, so they can both charge that and any techs nearby. Because let's see if I can even... Okay. Well, let's assume this is there. This thing has a crazy range, so if you get a plane over here and you want to charge it up, it gets charged up, boom, you can fly it onto the carrier. Oh yeah, it's still floating, by the way. Should have mentioned that. It's completely still hovering. Pretty neat. Let's try that again. Alright, this is looking promising. Not bad at all. Awesome. Alright. Same deal. Get the elevator up. Move the Striker very carefully in position. As you can see, the elevator's kind of wobbly. Oh, it went down good. Well, not really. The Striker got caught for a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I can fit another Striker in there. Also, or here's something I should have mentioned earlier. This. I've been trying out new elevator designs, which is probably the first 3 hours building this whole thing. 3 out of, I kid you not, 13 hours it took to construct this thing. What happened was I was trying to figure out how to make this elevator system. Alright, I really hate to lag out the game here, but here's one of my old elevator designs, and this is how it normally goes. We have these rounded blocks, which get intercepted by these angled blocks. This is so that it catches and it can't go up any further. And for this elevator, this is actually my old design, where I had to have blocks that prevented it from going any higher, and instead of having the angled blocks that intercept it first. Now, the reason I did this odd combination of Hawkeye and Geocorp armor is because it gives like the smallest gap possible between the two armors. Now, it's not perfect. One day, maybe I'll find 2 armors that work perfectly, but for now, this is the closest thing I could get for what I was trying to go for. Now, while we're here, I can talk about launching aircraft. Now, in TerraTech, it's not possible to build a steam catapult, or at least I haven't tried. It's not. And it doesn't sound very easy to say the least. But usually anti-gravity is your best bet, and you get a relatively clean launch. Now, if you want to go across the elevator, that's kind of a different story. So, real question is, could you theoretically launch off the elevator? Yes? But here's the issue. If you're using anti-gravity, that happens. You'll get caught on the little ridge. There we go. Alright, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This is just TerraTech, it's janky. I have to talk about this. This is the Striker 1 Mark II B mod. You know the A mod? Yeah, this is its cousin. Its cousin that's missing a few chromosomes. That's all I'm gonna say is what happened here. Pretty much, I was thinking for this, make a really small elevator so I could store more text instead of making the elevator that can store another tech with another layer. Yeah, it's not the prettiest. It flies, but doesn't fly well. I mean, it's relatively easy to control, I'll give it that, but yeah. I was pretty much trying to get the most boom for the littlest amount of space possible. Anyways, landing is a whole nother story. For this one, I put the shield and repair bulbs on the same switch, because why not? I mean, I landed it. Alright, gotta get the elevator up. Most of the time when you're using a carrier, you will just build beam your tech across. Especially this part, because you'll just fly off somewhere if you're not. Alright, so if you're not storing a tech here... Oh yeah, I have plenty of room. Now, in practice, I've managed to fit 3 of these beam mods in here. With an open, or I mean... with now a closed hangar. I don't know how possible that's going to be, but maybe we'll see sometime. One of the things I really wish I could make in this game is like a meatball. Well, that's what they're occasionally called. Pretty much, it's a series of lights and lasers that kind of track where the plane is in relation to the carrier, and it helps the pilot land by telling them either to go higher or lower. I really wish I had something like that in this game. You know, now I'm doubting myself. Are they still called meatballs, or am I just making stuff up at this point? I know it's a real technology, but I just don't know the actual name of it. Anyways, there we go. A decent landing. Now, as you can see, we already have a Striker A and a Striker B. Here's another A mod. And we'll just put it in the elevator. Elevator's derpy as usual, making sure it's not going to clip anything. And boom. Now, you cannot store any more aircraft. If you want to put another aircraft in, well, I'll show you. Alright, cool. So, if you want to somehow get another aircraft inside, well, you can't. You have to trade out. So to do that, alright, got it. The wings always clip, because this just barely fits in the elevator. But if you want another aircraft, you just gotta launch one and kind of store this in the elevator too. And this is where things get a little annoying. You have to move the Striker off the platform, put the platform back up, move the Striker onto the second lower deck of the platform. Hope you got it right. Raise the platform back down. Boom! Alright, now we can really go on a test drive. This is where things get a little buggy though. This tech's been okay, but usually carriers do not like carrying aircraft. I know, it's kind of ironic to the name, but still. Oddly enough, we get to maintain speed. That's weird. With carrying a bunch of planes in here, you'd think it'd be a bit heavier, but I guess not. I mean, while I'm on the way to the turret run, might as well do this. Oh. Oh no. Uh-oh. That can't be good. Maybe I should increase the hover power a bit. Yeah, forgot you have to do that when dealing with terrain. Okay, that wasn't a good example. But normally, if you have the height increased a bit more... Oh, this is a car crash. This is going horribly. Okay, this is a bad idea. We'll just pretend this never happened. And if you increase the height, you can actually get over terrain. Alright, and dang, those guns are quick. Okay, so there's something I haven't told you about the design of this. These are cruiser guns, but they can fire at insane distances because they're modded. But why are they getting the target already? Cruiser guns don't normally do that. Why I'm drifting? I don't know. Let's fire. I think we're going for the first one. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that was a bad idea. Well, I gotta fix this now. I forgot you cannot build beam with a carrier. Very bad idea. Alright, pretending I didn't mess that up horribly, this is still an aircraft carrier technically. So it carries aircraft, and that's one of its main ways of attacking enemies. This is the A mod. We've all seen it 100 times. Well, okay, maybe just me. Hey, that turret somehow survived. Normal striker stuff. Hit them for a long distance and go back home. Uh-oh. That hasn't happened in a while. Everything usually despawns together. Oh, come on. This hasn't happened when I wasn't recording. I left this 100 times and it was just fine. Why now? Now, going over the B mod a little bit more. As you can see, its flight is very odd. I believe it still carries the same amount of missiles as the A mod, but yeah, it's smaller, harder to control, and a bit easier to destroy. You might also notice it has Venture propellers instead of Hawkeye. That's because Venture is faster, I learned. I thought Hawkeye was faster, but I was wrong for some reason. This one also has flares at the bottom, if you can see them down there. So let's go find ourselves a missile launcher. Yeah, this is insanely difficult to control, even for me. Alright, let's see how it does against the missiles. Ah, the missile turret. Infamous wrecker of techs. Ruiner of days. But no more. Not with flares. I love flares so much. I was actually going to add something to the tech, but I forgot to. So maybe in a later design. Uh-oh. Wow, that was close. Thankfully, we have shield and repair bubbles. Well, that's not a good sign. This tech is broken, I believe. That's weird, though, because I swear it was working earlier. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. And it okay, that's why, because it defaulted to my tech. The game just does this occasionally, so nothing I can do about it. It's unfortunate that this is so derpy. Maybe if I anchored it, it would work, but who knows. Anyways, back to the firepower of this thing. Now, it's not that strong because these cruiser guns suck. Like, honestly, they suck. But there's something you should know. The reason I was able to get a target from such a long distance, let's see if I can get another one, is there's a secret tool hidden inside this tech. I'll reveal that in a little bit. Let's just see if I can fire these guns. And when they'll lock onto a target. Hello? There we go. It also has stabilization computers, the normal for me now, so it should stay pretty still. And yeah, not much to say. The anti-air hits it, the cruiser gun hits it, but it's unfortunately not devastation like the Yamamoto cannons are. Those things deal, I think it's like 5 times the damage one of these do, something like that. Anyways, let's see if we can fire from broadside. I love how far the anti-air hits as well. So yeah, there's that. Pretty powerful tech. Not great against other techs of the same construction, all my other ships, but it's more for anti-air and carrying capacity. You can also rig it up or have a friend use these as fire support. The only thing of note on the elevator is, the normal bearing pull system I have for elevators, but the 2 bearings were actually there. So you don't have to, somehow bounce it onto those pipes. It just falls right onto it. It's an amazing system. Then on the elevator, on each outer corner, there's one pull that goes all the way up to the top, which connects the 2 together. Now, I don't think the top has been destroyed that often, but anyways, the bottom part of the elevator still works, and that can be how you get techs up and down. Alright, well, I might as well start destroying something. So the hangar is this. From here to up here. I can show you that pretty easily. There's the armor plates. And this is how I designed it. I actually designed the hangar and elevator and flight deck first, and I built the ship around it. I built it like this so that you don't have a huge, just like, box up here and tech all the way down here, resulting in a very tall tech. Inside, you guys saw earlier, this is literally nothing special. I built this so I had as few attachment points as possible, so while I was building it, I didn't accidentally put stuff in here. Yeah, normal. And the floor of this is nothing special either. I just wanted to take up as much space as possible where the elevator is going to be. It has to be flat so that the elevator can be level with this. Back here, these are extremely easy to remove, but this section rarely gets targeted. This is where all of the forward propulsion is. Yep, all of it. There are a bunch of anti-gravity things in here because, you know, it's an insanely heavy tech that needs them. There's one back here, which reduces the weight of everything back here. There's one up in the front here, one in the middle up there. And if you zoom in, all you can see are the jet engines, my favorite form of propulsion. There's also a cab and important equipment back there, in case the first cab gets destroyed. Once you take these out, there's just armor, same jet engines. The middle part is the most juicy part, so I'll save that for later. Up here, the bow. This part, the hole, was really difficult to make, let's just say that. Just because of how I built it. It doesn't look great, I'll admit it, but I got to work. It's insanely heavily armored. Just like full of Hawkeye blocks all around here. 3 to 4 layers of armor on each side to protect jet engines. That's it. There's no batteries up here, just shield and repair bubbles to keep it all healthy. As you can see, you can't really get much. It's just armor. Armor and armor blocks. There's a jet engine. In the middle, I have these Better Future chassis blocks because these are extremely lightweight, so good filler blocks. As we remove the hover pads, you'll actually see we have jet engines right here. Kind of weird, right? Well, that's just how the height works here. Interesting thing is, these only have 1 layer of armor protecting them. But usually this part isn't targeted. Up here more, this area is targeted, this area is targeted. Not much in this section. Besides that, it's just armor. It's all armor. Until about here. The middle is the most juicy part, obviously, and what's that? That's a Yamamoto gun. Yeah, that's what allows these cruiser turrets to aim as far as they can. Okay, yeah, it's a little bit crazy. That takes up a lot of potentially useful space, but you know what? It works, and it's cool. Besides that, this is where all of our batteries are. I went for the Mega Gluon batteries and normal Geocorp batteries. The Hawkeye batteries kind of fill in the small spaces. There are a bunch of gyros here, stabilization, and air brakes. The air brakes are what help, I say help, keep the tech relatively stable. Let's destroy it. Okay, but that time it didn't fly out. Man, this game's weird. Alright, well I started a bit early, but as you can see, you get caught lacking by any part of the anti-air and you're dead instantly. Let's try that again. Oh. Yeah, I guess the game's just gonna reset us. Alrighty. Alright, after that horrible failure, yeah, you can see just how powerful the anti-air on this thing is. You get hit by one and you'll get hit by every single one. It's why you kind of gotta be creative with your flying patterns. After a bit though, the tech will lose you because this is TerraTech. And yeah, that was an actual anti-air hit. Occasionally you'll get hit by the CIWS defense, but that does literally nothing. I'm just doing my best to survive here. Oh, but that is not the attack pattern you want to do. You do not want to torpedo bomb it. Alright, this is not going the best. Oh. Yeah, so like I was saying, maybe I got worse, or maybe it's more of the anti-air guns, but it feels like these things are a threat. You know, I don't know. Because I feel like when there was only 2 anti-air guns, the 2 in the front, they still hunted me down relentlessly. Wow. This thing is a bit stronger than I remember. Or at least the anti-air is. If you can't tell, the missile defense is not the best. I don't think they've shot down a single missile in every single salvo I've just fired at them. And it's mostly just because the missiles are really quick and they're all spread out, so it's confused on which one it's trying to fire at. Alright, see if I can... Alright, well, I failed. Alright, I got to player just barely in time. And the damage is horrible. So what happens first is the chargers are destroyed, so I might change the position of those eventually, which means the elevator power goes down, so elevator is now crippled. But 3 of the 4 poles are still up, so it could still go, well, actually wait, no. Because it has no outside supporting poles. Maybe 2? Nope, just 1. Besides that, though, damage isn't horrible. And bleed some blocks, but that seems to be the worst of it. However, you can see after just a few missile salvos, we're already at 2.5 bars. This is the issue. I didn't build this tech big enough so it doesn't have insane battery capacity. So I would recommend having a support ship with it to recharge it, but yeah. Alright, well, I'll just keep sending planes at it until either all of my planes get destroyed or it gets destroyed. I'll let it hover. I'll let it roam freely for a little bit. And is it build beaming or what? That could just be a visual bug. Anyways, I get hit by any anti-air currently and I'm dead. So the most important part, thing to know about... Oh, don't do that, obviously. That's how you get crushed. Like, actually crushed. Before I got annihilated, I was going to say the most important part to know about anti-air is you just got to keep moving. Never do this if you're in range, because that's when the anti-air starts to track you. What you have to do instead is you have to just keep moving in one direction and don't sway from it. Doing a maneuver like that is a death sentence, usually. The exit knocked out half my wings. I can no longer fly. I'm kind of disappointed because in this game, I wish there was a way to make kamikaze techs a bit more effective. Because like once you're hit, you're just useless. I would like it a whole lot more if I could use this tech, just ram straight into the enemy and deal an insane amount of damage. But unfortunately, the tech with more mass wins ramming attacks. Another effective strategy is just keep your distance. This is what the strikers are for. Well, didn't destroy anything. But that did. Maybe. Some flares definitely got destroyed. Yeah, you can't just like dive into the enemy. And why is it telling me to be? That was weird. Alright, I'll go for one or a few more bombing runs. The shields finally ran out. That took a while. And if you can see, the top layer of the elevator was actually destroyed some time ago. Yeah, it's not the best defended thing. And we've lost a good portion of our wings. This is getting annoying. And because I'm lagging, I messed up my missile timing. Wow, okay. Whoa. Something exploded. But it was not the tech. Alright, so what can I see from the wreckage here? Well, it looks like my tech has glitched and added a stabilization computer. That happens every so often. But this is a whole nother thing. Well, the elevator glitched through completely. It's probably a build beam thing. But safe to say that's not working any longer. The hangar's oddly intact. Flight deck, can't say the same. The armor plating, though, is oddly intact as well. Even the anti-air and CIWSs are still fine. Yeah, I've made a kind of killable demon. It still saves alive for quite a long time, though. Yeah, so this thing has still an insane amount of survivability because of how I built it. It doesn't even really look like the armor's been scratched at this point. Kind of crazy. But yeah, it would take 100 more salvos of missiles to destroy this thing completely, and that'd be a lot of time. So there you go, there's the fight. Very effective against planes, but does get destroyed very easily. Alright, the next challenger to this carrier cruiser is going to be a destroyer. Yep, carrier's worst nightmare. Not in this game though. This thing is historically terrible. Like every single version I've made of this is just terrible, so we'll see how well it does. We have shield piercing rounds as the torpedoes if you don't know how this works. So we're just going to be shredding through its shields. However, it's getting close for some reason. Bad choice for it. Because it cannot hit me, I can just tear right through it. I don't think I've taken damage. What's going on here? I'll fight it at a slightly longer distance. Let its bombardment do the trick. Oh, there we go. It's finally dealing something. But we've torn a hole in its side, if you can't tell. Like a deep hole, too. That's right into the hangar. Oh, uh-oh. But looks like it bested me. Alright, it appears it didn't fully destroy the destroyer, though. Because it's still there. Oh, but it looks like it's pretty much grounded. Oh, there. That was the last nail in its coffin. Wow. Alright, let's see what we did to this. Whoa. That's the power of shield piercing rounds right there. It just tore straight through the armor into the tech. I love shield piercing. But didn't destroy it. Destroyed most of the jet engines, though. Wow. And the elevator definitely would have died from that. Well, maybe. Maybe not. It's hard to tell. Still, not enough to destroy it, huh? I think we need something slightly stronger. In case it wasn't obvious, I think you know who we needed for this job. The single most overpowered tech I've ever built, Purifier. Let's just watch the carnage. No armor can survive Purifier no matter what. Armed with 3 Yamamoto guns, a cruiser turret, countless destroyer guns, missiles, the most overpowered armor I've ever created, nothing survives Purifier. Period. The only thing she really lacks is anti-air, but I can fix that. Anyways, you gonna fight back? As we blow off half the bow with absolutely zero effort. Alright, it's actually ramming us. I didn't expect that. I should, though. It is nothing else left to lose. We lost our cruiser gun, though. Our main is still fine. They lost one of theirs as well. Our battery hasn't even been touched at this point. Theirs is probably gonna go soon. I think the CIWSs might actually be good at taking out some of our missiles at least. By the way, I can easily win this ramming war. Show the tech how it's done. Now this is a ramming war. Are our guns firing though, like our main ones? Or is it just that laggy? I mean, it's 10 frames, I know, but come on. There we go. Still gonna try and ram us, huh? I mean, I can easily avoid that. If I remember what the right keybinds are. Man, those anti-air guns are more powerful than you'd think. This is just so laggy, it's hard for... Uh-oh. Well... Wait a minute. This isn't going very well. And maybe I underestimated the power of AI. And anti-air guns. Alright, well, it stopped. Hold on. Yeah, Purifier very slowly turns, so I gotta... Oh, there go the shields, so that's goodbye. I thought it was goodbye, it's still floating. Wow, this thing is more resilient than I thought. Huh. Oh, there we go. The final cab went. Oh, we got an end boss though. Elevator. The elevator's still alive. It's hidden behind a huge pile of scrap. Alright, wow. With that out of the way, that's a lot of scrap. I didn't expect it to deal that much damage. Those anti-air guns are no joke. Like, it practically flattened Purifier. Took a huge chunk out the right side. Like, there goes most of my engines as well, I believe. Yeah, most of my engines are gone. My cruiser gun and that whole area was annihilated. Wow. That just goes to show the true destructive potential of this. And I didn't even have aircraft attacking me. So that's pretty amazing. And to wrap up the episode, I know it's called the Support CLV. I was trying to think of a cool name for it, and Support made the most sense because it can do barrages and aircraft at the same time. It's supposed to be a carrier-cruiser combination, so I called it a CLV, like cruiser, the V for carrier, instead of CV, which would be an aircraft carrier itself. But yeah, that just ends the rambling. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This is going to be Enzo from LookIntoGaming, signing out.